In this segment, we're looking at Microsoft Access 2007, New Perspectives, Tutorial 4, and we're going to build a form with a subform, and I'm going to show one method of resizing the fields, the column widths in the subform. So first of all, I'm going to click on Create, and I'm going to create a form using the Form Wizard, and my fields will come first from my customer table, and I'm bringing in customer ID, company, first name, last name, phone, and email address. And the next fields will come from the contract table, and I'm going to bring in all of them, and I'm going to put back the foreign key. I don't need to put the foreign key in here, it's already in the main form, and also because these two tables are related, they're related through the relationship window. They know how they're related because they are tables. You don't have to use the foreign key. If they were two queries, I would bring the foreign key in because the two queries will not know how they're related and you need that linking field. But since they're two related tables, I don't have to put it in, I'll put it back. When in doubt, leave the field in, and then you can delete it when you get all the way to the end. But I know I don't need it, so I'll put it back. I'll click Next. I'm going to have this form set up with a form and subforms. I'll click Next. Because of the ideal way that it uses space, I'm going to make my subform a data sheet. If I were going to use a form and a subform within my subform, which you can do, at this point I would have to make it tabular. You cannot put another form within a data sheet. You can only put another form or subform inside a tabular or a columnar. So I'll choose data sheet. Next, and I'm going to go with the Foundry. Next, and my first form will be customer and contracts, and my subform will be contract subform. I'll click Finish. It creates my form and subform. And we'll take a look at the subform here. I'm just going to move down and move forward a couple of records just to see how it looks. You can see that my column widths are not wide enough. Now, if I were to resize the column widths here, and then I move forward, you see that it's not working. I can resize them here, move forward, and it may continue to work, may not, but the resizing is view specific. It resizes to the current view. It doesn't resize to all the records. So the best way to fix this is simply to remember that your subform is a form all by itself. So I'm going to close the main form, go to my navigation, and I'm going to open up the subform that I just created, and it will open up in Datasheet view. I'm going to select all the fields and resize, and then I'm also going to double check this by scrolling down and making sure that it's long enough. It is. I'm going to close this. I'll go back and open my main form. Now, my subform has been resized, so I'm not going to touch it again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change my subform control, this guy, so that it now will fit around my subform. So I'm going to grab it here, and I'm just going to resize a little bit this way. And I'm having a little trouble with my screen here because I've resized it so that you can see it. And I will resize. I'm going to go into design view here where I can get a little bit better look at it. My screen scrolls more easily. And see in here, then I can just simply bring this subform out a little further. And when I bring it out, I want to make sure, here's my drop down arrow, here's the end of my subform. There's a little tiny space right in here. It's about 1/8 of an inch. And that you want that 1/8 of an inch in there because it's about enough room for a vertical scroll bar. When you create a form, you want your form to be able to work with the database as the database grows. If we were to add additional contracts to this, and we don't leave room for the scroll bar, as I get more contracts on here, and I'm going to show you what this is going to look like. I'll come in and I'll find one with several contracts in it, and I'm going to force the scroll bar. Okay, there's one. And I'm going to change that into my form layout view, and I'm going to bring this up. See, I've forced a scroll bar in here. You see there's plenty of room for the scroll bar. If I didn't leave room for the scroll bar, I would have both a horizontal and a vertical scroll bar. That's going to cause me problems when I start doing my data input, because the screen's going to start bouncing around. And not only is it annoying, it could also create some medical issues. So just undo those. And there it is. So there's one method of resizing a subform.